Okay, what's up, guys? This is Smooth Huh here, and today I'm gonna be going over my thoughts of the newest Classroom of the Elite volume 9.5 of the second year. So, Classroom of the Elite is actually my favorite, my first, and obviously favorite light novel series. It's in all honesty, it's the only one that I've actually read any volume for, to be honest. So I have been very engrossed with it ever since I picked it up, and I have been very indulged in the Classroom of the Elite community. So this is like a very important series to me. And so like I said at the start, I'm going to be just giving my personal thoughts of the recent volume, year 2, volume 9.5, which being a point 0.5 volume is obviously a filler volume, at least in the Classroom of the Elite series. Point 0.5 volumes are filler volumes, and people don't really pay that much attention to them. But with this volume specifically, I think people were a lot more upset about this volume in particular because it did not really do anything. People don't feel like it did anything that special. It was like too much filler and like not what people really expected out of the volume. But in all honesty, what are my opinions on the volume? I honestly enjoyed it. I genuinely enjoyed this volume because I think that it's important to look at what is being set up in this volume and the previous volumes, and just to look at the bigger picture as a whole. I think that's what we as the community need to look at here, because the author himself, Kinugasa, has stated that these recent volumes and the ones to come are going to be very crucial to the story. So I think so that's why I am not particularly worried about the future of this series. Some people were, because the thing is, people are worried that Classroom of the Elite is too focused on the romance aspect of it at this point in the series. People feel like it's Classroom of the Elite is a psychological thriller series, and people are worried that it's divulging too much away from that and becoming this sort of like romance series, because we have the main character Ayana Koji, and basically girls are just falling for him left and right. Ayana Koji at this point has like 5 to 7 girls that are interested in him, and and a lot of people are tired of girls just falling left and right for him, and the series just becoming about romance instead of the psychological thriller that it presented us with at the very start. Now, to that, I will say, yes, I agree to an extent that the romance aspect is getting a little bit too much at this point. I agree. I said I agree to an extent, because I think that, in my opinion, Classroom of the Elite has always had romance a part of it. I feel like people aren't really thinking about that too much. Yes, it started off as a psychological thriller, but even in the first few volumes, we had Sakura. Sakura ended because Ayana Koji saved Sakura from a stalker. She caught feelings for him. Jeez, even in the first couple of volumes. So so romance to me has always been a part of the series. It's always been this separate half of the series from the psychological thriller aspect of it. So that's why I think people getting are looking down on it a bit too harshly for that. But again, I also can understand why people are getting like a little fed up with the romance, because in this volume year 2 volume 9.5, we get a confession from Sakayanagi. She is now anyone who now any we all know who Sakayanagi is. She is such an important and like well liked character in the series, and she ends up confessing to Kiyotaka in this volume. And I do agree and think that it was an unnecessary confession, because we've basically known, we've all known that she's had like some sort of feelings for him for the longest time now, since like honestly since like from their first interaction, kind of a couple of interactions. So the con and so and we know that Sakayanagi's character is that she's a genius, that she's this strong leader that that takes down her opponents, that like she and now with this confession, it just seems many people feel like it's kind of like ruins her character a bit. I wouldn't say it ruins her character. I wouldn't really say that, honestly, almost at all. I wouldn't necessarily say it ruins her character, but it definitely makes you think a certain way about her now, because again, the confession was completely unnecessary. We didn't really need it. And now the reason I say that, and the reason I agree I agree slightly that it ruins her character just slightly, is because now we're not really sure if she's going to, because when Ayano Koji and Sakayanagi have their fight, emotions are going to be involved with her. Like before, we've known all this time that Sakayanagi wants to take Ayano Koji down, but now this is the only slight thing I'm worried about, is like since she confessed now, are her feelings going to impact her decisions? I don't think it will that much, because literally right after she confesses, she reaffirms the fact that she wants to beat him and she wants to ruin everything he's planning. So I am only worried slightly in that aspect, but not by that much. So again, just to reiterate, I am not really worried about the future. I think Kinagasa knows what he's doing, and I honestly don't think that the romance aspect is going to last that well. I don't think it's going to be sort of the focus as it has been recently, because like year 2 volume 10 is coming up, and we know that there is a special exam coming in that volume. There has to be. We know it's pretty much a fact now. So I do think that that literally after this volume, we are getting right back to the psychological thriller that people missed, and I think people are going to be ecstatic about that. So okay, so to kind of move away from that topic, what else did we have in this volume?